Okay, so we're going to look at these things. We're going to add master pages and I'm going to look what they are. We're going to use the grid, use the rulers and guides. And we're going to look at the baseline grid. So the baseline, remember what that was, huh? That was the line where the text is sitting on. And in the end, we will package it. All right. I don't have a file that I'm going to continue working in, so I'm going to make a new document. And I'm going to create 20 pages. They're going to be A4 in size. I'm going to have 3 columns on every page with a gutter of 5 millimeters. And my margins will be 10 millimeters on every side. Bleed, let's put in 5 millimeters. Okay, that's my page, or this is my document. So if I go to the pages window here, you can actually see that I got all my 20 pages, and the first and the last page is a cover and a back page, and in there is all my pages, and everything has 3 columns, as you can see. So basically this is already giving me a hint for my grid, using 3 columns on every page, you see? But now sometimes you have things in your magazine that are don't need a grid, or you don't want to see the grid, or you don't want to apply it, or apply it a bit differently, or having some extra helpers in there. And for that, plus some other things, we're going to use master pages. And a master page is something you can put on all the pages at once, or at separate pages, and you cannot touch them again, except when you're editing the master. You see it up here in the pages window. There's actually my masters. There's now a none, and there is a master. And I'm actually currently, I'm on page 2 and 8 and 9. And let's put something in here, a text. I'm going to fill it up just to show their stuff there. And this is only on page 8 now. So if we want to put in a folio or a page number, I can use actually the master pages. As you can see, this A master is actually applied already on every page because there's an A next to here every page, you see. So if I double click on the A master, it opens up and I can put things in here, and I'm going to put in a block of text down below here. I'm going to put in page, and in InDesign you can go into type, insert special character, markers, and then current page number. And it will give me, in this case, can you read it? Yeah, it's an A. So on my master page it says A. But because this master page is applied here to all the different pages, if I go back to page 8, 9, there it is, page 8, you see? So page 8 here, and if I scroll down, there's page 10. So because it's applied here in the master page, it comes back on every other page. I cannot edit it now here in this page because it's only in the master page. So if I want to edit it, I go back to my master page, double click on it, and for example, I can put in here what kind of magazine are we doing? Traveler. It's what is it? November. And there's the page name. There it is. So I edit it in my A master, and it will appear here in page 8, 9, but also at all the other pages. See? So I only can edit it in there. And that means actually that in my A master, I not only can put text in, but of course I can also put images in and other graphic elements that I want. So with the line tool, I could put something in which starts here and ends there. And now it's actually a line. There it is. And it will appear now on every page. This is page 66. This is page 8. Now, on this side, there's nothing because I didn't put it in the master page, right? So if I also want it on the other side of the page, I just go to the master page and put it in there as well. Simple as that. Okay. This is one master page. I only have the A master now, but I can create new master pages as well. You can create a new master, and it's giving me a prefix. That's fine, B, and the name, I name it advertisement. And it's not going to be based on another master, and I only want it to be one page. So if I look here, I got my A master I just made. That was the one with the page number. And I got a B master that is called advertisement. Now in an advertisement, I don't want actually anything in there because I just got it delivered to me and I just want to place it in. So I also don't want to have columns in there, nothing in there. So the B advertisement, I have it open, double clicked it, can go to layout, margins and columns, and I'm going to get rid of all my columns, and the margins I'm going to put it at 0. And this is it. This is my B advertisement. It hasn't been applied to any page now, so if I want to apply that to a page, I can simply drag and drop it to a page. So let's put it here. Well, let's put it to the front page, the cover, because I'm going to create something else. And you will see that the B appears here. So if I double click on my page, the cover, nothing is there. And if I scroll down to the other page, this one has the A master applied to it. So that's in there. See? So in that way, you can very quickly and easily update a lot of pages with the same content, with the folio, with some graphics in there, or get everything out of there. Now, on a lot of pages in the magazine, headlines are on exactly the same spot in the placement, in the height of. Let's get this example here. Here you have two things that are, I guess, I didn't check it, exactly on the same spot, right? So in your master, you can actually put in also other helping lines to guide you placing other elements. So let's, in my original master, I can create other guidelines that help me place other elements. So, for example, to put in these headlines. So out of this ruler on the top, and if you don't have a ruler, it's here under View, and now it says Hide Ruler, but then it says Show View Ruler. From a ruler, you can click and drag a helping line into a page. So I'm going to put it up here. It's in my master page. There it is. And on every page that I go now, this helping line appears. You see? So if I'm going to create a text box here, I can use that one to put in my headline. And it can't be bigger than the thing I just made, the text box I made. That's just it. And this helping line is now not available to change. I can only change the position of it in the master. Is that clear? It's very handy to help you positioning things inside the masters. So in this way you can create another master with some different elements in there as well and apply them to different pages. Not so hard, right? That's master pages and showing this page number, putting in this page numbers. Of course, then you can format the page number in anything you want. So let's look a bit closer to this ruler. If you really want to be precise, you can work very precise here in InDesign. You can zoom in very closely, and the ruler in the top and the side will scroll with you, as you can see. Now, the absolute 0 point is the corner of the page. If you want to measure something that is really precise, you can also change this 0 point if you click and drag the corner of the rulers. So click and drag this one, I can reposition my zeros, for example, the start of the margin, so the start of all the content. So then this is my 0 point, and there you see it's also my 0 point. What is this then? This is 10, 20, and so on. Right click it, and you can see you can set it to any setting that you want. Now it's millimeters, but you can also put it to pixels or to inches or points to be precise. All right? So you can use the rulers and use guides coming from the rulers to really make a consistent position of your elements throughout the magazine. That's very important out of this. Okay, let's look at the baseline grid. So I put in the text here. I'm going to put in another text. And I'm just going to randomly put something in. I'm not going to put that randomly something in. I'm going to do what I ask you to do, actually. I asked you in a minute to put some articles from Wired transform it into a magazine layout. So, I binge watched a Periscope TV and it almost killed me. Interesting article. So this is the headline. I'm going to copy that and place it in my headline here. It's far too big. So adjust your settings alike that you're really getting this the full headline, and it almost killed me. It's so big. So it's so big. I actually want the oh, I'm kind of lost. I want to adjust some elements of this text to make it a bit compressed. Under type, you will find two windows. That's character and paragraph. And the character is adjusting the character inside the text box. And if you look at it, there's the first one, font size. Next to it, you can adjust the kerning, and I'm just going to leave it here at 0. There is the line distance, so make it a bit smaller. And here is the leading, which is everything is now adjusted the same way, which I don't want. Just going to leave it at 0. And if you look at the other one, paragraph, here's the one thing you shouldn't do, and that's these guys, that's justifying. And then you see that the text here, it almost killed me, as very small space, and here Periscope TV, those are very big spaces. Don't do that. Just keep it this way. If you need to adjust other text values, then so be it. The one I really would advise you not to use is these two. Changing the height of a font or changing the width of a font. The font was created in a specific way with a specific ratio to width and height, so why destroy that? Okay? Don't do it. So these, and here's the drop cap to put in your paragraphs with different letter heights. Okay, this is my headline. It's looking ugly, but that's fine for now. There's my text. And where's the text here? It's a long text. It's not going to fit in all. Long enough. Okay, I'm going to place it in here. There it is. It's much longer than that I would want to. So there's a plus here. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to create a new text box. So it's automatically actually linked. There it is. Hit the plus and create a new text box. It's automatically linked. There it is. And I even need more space. So I need the other page as well. Okay. One thing is now, as I start up on the same height here, with every text box, the line of the baseline of every text box should be exactly the same, right? But that's not always working. You can't always say set the height of a text box at the same starting point because you want to put in an image, because you have other text in there. And if I change this line, it just starts here at the top. And because it does so, the baseline of these two text boxes is not the same. You see, the text is starting at a different point here than there, and for a reader that's a very not pleasant way to look at the text. Bless you. There's a way to get that fixed, and it's called the baseline grid. The baseline grid is now not visible, and if you right click somewhere, you can actually go to grids and guides and show baseline grid. Then you have it at least visible. You don't need to have that, but then you see what I mean. And this is the baseline grid, all these blue lines. So what I want actually is this text to sit on every baseline grid. And if I go to my paragraph window again under type, and I select my text box, let's just select the whole text at once. There is this icon here at the bottom, aligned to baseline grid. Now it's not aligned to baseline grid, and if I click this one, the text is aligned to the baseline grid. That means it sits on those blue lines. It messes up my stuff now, and I'll show you why. The baseline grid has a certain distance between those blue lines, but the text height is too high to be fitting then in those between those two lines. So that's why he's skipping one line. If I make the text smaller, oh, not the style, sorry, the character. If I make my text a bit smaller, there it is, and now it's on every blue line. But now you also see that my text box here is now continuing the text on that blue line there as well, you see. And it's not starting at the text box here, the starting of the text box. So if I'm making my text box bigger, or just drag it upwards, see, it's skipping to those lines, the text. And that's a very important thing, because in that way you have lines here that continuing throughout the text in all these text boxes. Okay, so there are two things you can do to adjust actually the text to make them sit on the baseline grid. First of all, it needs to be turned on. That's in the paragraph window. Then you can adjust your text and your height of the lines between the text to make it fix. And then one other last thing, that's adjusting this baseline grid. And that's a bit more complicated. It's totally somewhere else. It's actually in preferences. And then into grids. And in Windows, that's edit, preferences, and then there's grids. And now you will see the first thing, baseline grid. It starts at 12.7, that's my margin basically, and increments every 12 points. So if I want to make it bigger, 15 points, there it is. The size between the lines is much bigger. I understand that you may not follow all of this at once, so please watch it again and try it out now so I can actually help you with it. Okay?